March of this year found me deeply engrossed with Avowed as it reaches its first month after release, its vibrant tapestry of high fantasy unraveling before my eyes. Little did I know that my journey in the Living Lands is going to be taking an unexpected turn. Hello, kumusta ka? I'm Gamer After Shift, and these journal entries are for the gaming worlds that I explore. Today's story is about my jump from the world of Eora to the 41st millennium of the Grimdark world of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. The world of Avowed, the Living Lands, was a realm painted with breathtaking vistas, steeped in ancient lore and built upon foundations of intricate world building. Seemingly all the standard components for an enchanting role-playing experience. Yet, beneath the shiny AAA facade, a certain hollowness persisted, an elusive quality that prevented its complete grasp upon my attention. Was it the surprisingly constrained avenues of class customization? Or perhaps its irritating aspect of optimization, a technical gremlin that haunted every corner of my playthrough? Or more simply, did it lack that singular incandescent spark, the soul that distinguishes greatness from a mere pretty face in a crowded gallery of AAA video games? While the shortcomings of Avowed are not the heart of this unfolding narrative, its eventual technical issues forced my hand, compelling me to ultimately shelf it indefinitely. I was then back to square one, facing the long list in my Steam library, a reminder of the consequences of impulsive buying every seasonal sale. But I've improved now. Then there's the ever-shifting grand library of Xbox Game Pass, which I have to navigate every now and then, because the sheer volume of potential adventures is enough to induce a decision paralysis. Every day, I was looking at my library asking myself, ano bang pwede kong malaro? But never actually ended up playing something. Just when I thought I'll be forced to go back into the brutal, adrenaline-filled world of Valorant and Fragpunk's gunplay, finally, my weary eyes met with Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader. And just like that, an immediate surrender followed. As I wait there, I see the progression of the installation moved inch by inch. I anxiously thought, what if I don't like it? Many times I have bought games on sale just for me to realize I don't like them, then being too far from the grace of a refund that I'm forced to be stuck with it. Having multiple experiences of such educated me to stop buying bulk games for the sake of the sale, but I digress. Realizing that the installation was done, it was time for the moment of truth. Will it be an hour of disappointment? Or will it be an experience that will encapsulate my very thoughts away from time and space? The initial launch of Rogue Trader was seamless, a welcome contrast to my experience with the former game I played. I'm not saying Avowed launched problematically, but it required me multiple tweaks and YouTube videos to get to a place where it didn't stutter every now and then. Rogue Trader's main menu struck me as somewhat simplistic, but upon a closer look, my eyes melded with the details that I mistakenly overlooked. The main menu is typically your initial impression of what a game's interface would feel and look like, so I tend to spend a minute or two to get to appreciate it. The character customization, while not offering granular control over facial musculature, proved surprisingly captivating nonetheless. The anatomical creation was indeed basic, almost antiquated, a concession perhaps to the top-down isometric perspective inherent in the CRPG lineage. But playing Diablo 4 and Baldur's Gate 3 would tell me otherwise. So, while it justifies the simplistic offerings, I think having a better customization would have made for a better experience overall. Because I'm not going to pretend that there isn't any cutscene just because this game is on a top-down perspective. Because there are, and they all look like they have Lego for faces, so it's a bit of a bummer. While I think a broader array of cosmetic options for maybe attire or accessories would have been appreciated in the character creation, It was the depth of the background system that truly caught my full attention. The game offered three crucial pillars in shaping my character's identity. Homeworld, the place of my birth and its impact on my biological affinities. Origin is my upbringing and profession, who I was, and is my foundation for ideology and morality. And then there's Archetype, my proficiency, and is mostly about my combat ability. But even Homeworld and Origin presents that option, though not as robust as the Archetype. Layered upon these were Triumphs and Darkest Hours, your option to select your greatest achievement and your greatest mistake. All of these coalesce into a tangible identity that informs my gameplay experience, a skeletal structure that I was able to expand further through my decision-making as I played the game, forming a character that's truly mine. And these weren't a superficial backstory or features bolted on, it was woven into the very fabric of the game. That's when it dawned on me that Rogue Trader was serious about role-playing, understanding that agency and narrative are paramount, because the game systematically guides you into embodying your chosen, created persona, and the realization that the choices I made during character creation had actual tangible in-game consequences was a genuine wow moment for someone who's relatively new to the CRPG genre. Even more so, the character you've built has choices that can deviate from their initial characteristics, which can make for a morally complex character storytelling arc, dictated by your preferences as you, the player, have this inherent narrative agency. With this, I have quickly discovered what I have been missing, and the roots that I have truly forgotten in search of metrics and growth for my gaming content creation endeavor. My preconceived notion of disliking extensive in-game text dissolved as Rogue Trader enveloped me. It felt less like playing a game and more like being immersed within the pages of a book, and sometimes quite literally. The playthrough experience of Rogue Trader is deeply focused on the narrative and decision-making, allowing you to live through the consequences and shape your story as the main protagonist or villain. Text is presented very frequently, but it's thoughtfully written and not just there to fill space. The game's writing exhibits an inclination towards eloquence and profundity uncommonly seen in my previous gaming experiences. The advanced linguistics, with its notable rarity for profanity, contributes to a sense of sophistication. This has made me reconsider text-heavy games, for now I have realized that the issue isn't the text mechanic itself, but rather poor writing and, even more so, terrible execution. Rogue Trader features voice acting that goes beyond mere obligation. The quality is remarkable, something I noticed early on with a companion's performance. A specific scene featuring Idira truly showcased the caliber of the voice acting and heightened my anticipation for the game.
No! Lord Captain, I didn't hear a thing. Not a whisper, not a breath. It was so loud. Why didn't I foresee this?
Voice acting isn't always present in every scene. I initially viewed this negatively, but as I continued reading, I recognized the beauty of unvoiced text, because it allowed me to have a personal interpretation of what I'm reading. And doing so, images starts to manifest in my thoughts as the brain begins to visualize what I'm reading, fostering a unique perception in the world that's currently being brewed in my mind. Outside of the narrative, the initial exploration can be summarized as occurring within pocket areas. Some are larger than others. Some planets contain multiple explorable zones of varying sizes. Some ships consist of a single large area, while others, like a major location in Act 2, are just massive. The initial exploration is easy on the eyes, uncomplicated, and satisfyingly straightforward. The game gradually introduces other exploratory mechanics that deepen and scale your adventure. Soon after progressing into Act 2, you unlock space exploration, granting you the freedom to traverse the Corona's expanse where the story is set, which involves navigating multiple and diverse galaxies. Given that space travel in Warhammer 40k is narratively or lore-wise complex, this translates into a mechanical nuance in the game, making pathing a significant element. I have yet to fully experience this aspect as I am writing this after completing the initial sections of Chapter 2. The dark and dangerous world of Warhammer 40k naturally leads to frequent and anticipated combat encounters. The combat in Rogue Trader reminds me of XCOM 2. You move across tiles, each tile representing a movement point, and you have action points to allocate strategically, forming your character's skill rotation or your preferred skill sequence in each combat turn. Similar to Baldur's Gate 3, you can only attack once per turn, and in this game, you're typically limited to 4 actions per turn. Encounters in Rogue Trader are built upon strategy and tactical approach, enhanced by dynamic environment that plays a role in the combat scenario. Positioning, planning, and anticipation are well rewarded in this case. However, casual play is also accommodated by the game's highly modifiable difficulty setting, with granular sliders and scales, allowing you to tailor-fit the challenge to your preference or capacity. Having no prior experience with Warhammer 40k narratives, I approach the storytelling with humble reservation. While the overarching story of Rogue Trader, a massive threat requiring a journey to overcome, might initially seem like a typical video game plot, the narrative experience is what elevates its otherwise familiar storytelling framework. The storyline revolves around inheriting the title of the Rogue Trader, becoming entangled in various scenarios within your domain as a new ruler. The numerous political nuances and story elements pave the way for a brilliant storytelling. The world building is exceptional, adding significant depth and richness. It encompasses mystery, politics, sci-fi, horror, and fantasy elements. It's a melting pot of familiar video game tropes, but in a positive way. This blend, with some elements being more prominent than others, creates a unique experience not commonly found in games I've played so far. It kind of feels like I'm playing a steampunk game set in the future, like distant future, with elements reminiscent of Dungeons & Dragons. Having now navigated the initial act of Rogue Trader multiple times, deliberately testing the intricate web of its consequence system, I find myself thoroughly impressed. A clearer understanding of the game's unique approach to RPG mechanics is beginning to crystallize, distinguishing it from more conventional titles in the genre that I personally played to completion. I'll hold off on a final verdict for now, but expect a detailed journal entry about all these features once I've experienced everything the game has to offer. Nevertheless, I am undeniably eager to once again immerse myself in the grim and compelling universe of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, this time carrying the weight of my accumulated knowledge and the anticipation of the unfolding narrative. The game has shown considerable promise, successfully scratching an itch that Obsidian's Avowed, for all its merits, was ultimately unable to reach. In a curious twist of fate, I find myself indebted to Avowed's particular design, for it was perhaps the very nature of that unpolished experience that ultimately guided me to the distinct and captivating world of Warhammer 40k. These initial explorations and observations serves as the foundation for a more extensive journey that will unfold in my upcoming series of video contents. Over the next several weeks, I intend to delve deeper into the intricacies of Rogue Trader, meticulously journaling my experiences through its subsequent acts and dissecting its mechanical nuances, along with its artistic direction and world building. This journey will culminate in a comprehensive final conclusion, offering my holistic perspective on the game's strengths, weaknesses, and overall impact. And that brings us to the end of this initial journal entry into the world of Rogue Trader. What began as a detour from the familiar high fantasy landscapes of Avowed has become an unexpected deep dive into the grim darkness of the 41st Millennium. From grappling with the initial learning curve of its mechanics to slowly unraveling the complexities of its character systems and narrative, Rogue Trader has proven to be a captivating experience. The initial hours spent in this world has me excited to see where it will all go. This is just the first step in a much longer journey. I plan to continue exploring the Coronas Expanse with all its perils and promises in future journals and videos. There is still much to uncover about this game, and I intend to share every step of the way. So stay tuned for more Rogue Trader content, where we'll delve even deeper into its narrative, gameplay, and world. Until then, this has been Gamer After Shift, signing out.